as it is very, very different from previous releases. Lots of tweaks in the sculpt and new elements to the figure, which we haven't seen before. So I'll just talk through some of what we've got here. Now, one of the noticeable differences with the head sculpt is the fact that it is a solemn head with the hat on, something that we have yet to see. Now, the original prototype pictures look absolutely terrible because it looked like Tom had an accident and didn't quite know what to do with himself. It's not quite as bad on the finished figure. I have seen this is probably one of the better paint jobs I've seen. I've seen a few sort of like this with the eyebrows quite controlled and the eyes sort of looking to one side. However, there are others where the eyes are looking straight ahead, but the eyebrows are all over the place, so it looks like he's really shocked. It's quite odd, so I'm overall quite pleased that the head doesn't look too bad. So it's not a terrible sculpt. I still think it looks like Tom. The hat and the hair is actually the same hat and hair we've seen on the Pyramids of Mars Tom. This time, however, the colour of the hat is green in order to mimic the green fabric of the later hat. This version being, of course, from The Seeds of Doom, the last story of Tom's second season. The waistcoat and cravat and shirt are the same as the Pyramids of Mars Tom. However, the cravat has now been painted in a lighter orangey colour, and the trousers and things, they're exactly the same as on the other figure as well. However, this time they have repainted the shoes. I'll just zoom in on those there. So they've got Tom's spats that he wears, which is the only time he ever wears these shoes, and he has these sort of orange sort of things that go over the top. And the scarf is the same as what we've got on the Wave 1 release. They haven't repainted it like they did with the Pyramids of Mars Tom. It should really be the Pyramids of Mars scarf, but they've gone with the cheap route and reused the Wave 1 scarf. With that bit in mind, it does mean we have both sides painted, so that's good. The coat, however, is the sort of the big new thing. The coat is a completely new sculpt, including the arms, of course. And it is the grey coat that he wears in Seeds of Doom, Android Invasion, Brain of Morbius, Invisible Enemy, Horror Fan Rock. Now, I think that the grey is slightly too light. I think they could have gone a tiny bit darker, but it's good. It's good nonetheless. The texture on it is really, really good. You can tell that they've really tried to capture the look that the original coat actually had. However, the real coat had this sort of speckled effect to it, which is missing from the figure, and I think that's what makes the coat sort of quite in your face. But overall, I think is very good. I mean, they've even kept in not only the front pockets, but the back pockets here, which Tom would put his hat in. And we have the trims and the elbow pads. These are sort of painted in a very, very, very dark brown, almost black, but they are very dark brown. And it is basically the normal Tom Baker sort of body, but with new arms and just the new coat and new head. The head is removable because it is the Tom Baker body. It's a bit stiff, but you can remove it. And the scarf is removable, so you can see the shirt and everything. And you can put on the other Tom head, like so. And there we have it. There's Tom without the hatted head, and just the normal Wave 1 solemn head on top. And I think he looks pretty good like that. So I'm very pleased with this figure, and it's nice to have another version of the Fourth Doctor, because it's only the third version we have. I mean, that Wave 1 figure has been re-released and re-released so many times, so it's excellent that we actually have another version of the Doctor. Quite strange, really, seeing as Tom had countless variations of costume, whether it was just different colours of cravats, coats, and I'm quite surprised that we've only just seen the third variation of his Doctor, especially considering he is the most popular of the classic Doctors. So, again, for the fourth figure in the set, it's a very welcome release and a very nice repaint. The next figure I shall look at very quickly, I might add, is the fifth Doctor. Now, there's not really much to say with this fifth Doctor. It's exactly the same as the original Wave 1 release, so it's the season 19 and 20 costume, and Warriors of the Deep as well. And the only major difference is he finally has his stick of celery. So we finally have a proper fifth Doctor. He actually is complete. So, like I said, it is exactly the same as the initial release. There's no difference in him at all. The paint job is exactly the same as well, quite crisp. Yeah, I mean, that's really all there is to say. Next up is the sixth Doctor, as played by Colin Baker. Again, this is just a repaint like the Bill Hartnell and Pat Troughton figures. And this version is based on the outfit Colin wears in Terror of the Vervoids. Now, there are notable differences in this outfit compared to what he wore with the first figure, which was based on his first season. However, some things have changed, not really for the better in some cases, but I'll look at the more notable differences, which is, of course, the new waistcoat, which is in purple, pink, green and white stripes, which looks really good, and obviously the chains are now green and pink on either side with the red buttons at the top. The cravat is the same sculpt, I mean the figure is exactly the same sculpt as the first Wave 1 version, but it's now been painted yellow with the stars in pink, purple, green and red on it. They don't really resemble stars, they're more like splodges, but on such a small scale you can't really say that much. The shirt, actually beneath the collar, has finally been painted white, which is good. It makes the costume stand out a bit more, which is quite nice. And obviously we still got the question marks. And over here, the cat badge is now different. It's not the white and black one, it is the ginger and white black striped cat, which is like the badge he wore in Terror of the Vervoids. Now, the paint job on the face isn't as good as the initial release. It doesn't look too bad on camera, actually, and I think that might be because I'm starting to get used to it, but when I first saw it, it's quite thick compared to the original Wave 1 version. It's just, I think the paint seems to remove some of the finer details. The pink as well on this figure, down here and on the coat, is nowhere near as bright as what it was on the first release. I'll just show you a comparison. So, I mean, look at that. Look how more vibrant the original one is. And I'm quite disappointed with the fact that they've dulled it down so much when it is in actual fact should be as pink as that. Also notice how they have removed some of the lines going across the coat. I'm not sure why they've done this. I think it could possibly be to limit the costs on the figure, perhaps. The back also has got noticeable changes. Here we have, on this bit, there's now purple stripes going down vertically, whereas before it was black lines. Again, the pinks have been dulled down in this version. Now, of course, being from Terror of the Vervoids, Colin's hair should be a lot longer. He's got slightly wider as well, but they haven't done that. They haven't made him any larger. And the head, yeah, that's a bit disappointing that they never went for a brand new head. But like I said, Same case with the other figures. If you're going to have a set for £50, you can't make new heads and things, complete brand new resculpts on all the figures, because otherwise you'll be doubling the price of the box set.